Google. Let's go get them again.
What's going on, fragrance family? Welcome to my top 15 unicorn fragrance purchases of 2022. Now, if you're new to collecting fragrances and new to our glorious hobby, you may be asking yourself, Mark, what is a unicorn fragrance? It's not all rainbows. I dub them unicorn fragrances because of many reasons. One of the things is they could be very rare. They're hard to find. You're chasing these ones. They're discontinued for several years. You go on eBay, the eBay search returns 0 results. Good luck. Or they're just unattainable because of cost. Try to search Moss Brash Purple Patchouli by Tom Ford. You're gonna be forking a few $1,000s for a fragrance. I don't know if you wanna do that. So this is where the unicorns come in. This is where the journey comes in. And this is the fun part of the journey for myself. I got a wish list. You don't want to see my wish list, but I do have a wish list of fragrances that I call unicorns. I have maybe a good little, if I had to compile them, it's probably around 10 to 50 unicorn fragrances that have just been sitting on my wish list for years. Some of them maybe over couple decades. These are ones I can't find anymore. These are the ones that I kind of put them on a pedestal a little bit when I do have them in my collection. They have a special part in my little mini collections. You know, my Tom Fords, my Getaways, my Diors, my Chanels. These are fragrances that a true frag head just appreciates that fragrance a little more because it took more than just throwing a couple $100s at the fragrance. So this is where I talk to all of you about my unicorn purchases. And over my years on YouTube, I'll be frank, like I'm not looking at the stats here, but I can frankly say that I would purchase maybe 3 to 5 unicorns a year if I'm lucky. A good year would be over 5 of them. Some years I come out empty-handed. Some years are better than others. 2022, the fragrance gods were with me. I know if I was on YouTube, you would have seen the fragrances I purchased. It was a good year, a very good year. So I'm gonna try to compile here. That's why I have 15 fragrances. I'll be honest, this is like on a haul by itself, this is crazy. I did have some help and I just wanted to shout out a special subscriber of mine. I didn't touch base with him before shooting this video, so I don't know if he wants to be outed, but he helped me get 3 or 4 of these and he had a heavy hand on a few of these that I know I couldn't have got by myself. So you know who you are. And for you, I know I've thanked you a million times, but thank you so much. You made a frag head very happy, and these are fragrances that I will cherish for years in my collection. So I'm kind of stretching this list a little bit. You know, I think there's value of having 15 instead of like 5 or 6 that I really like. The top 6 I really value, but I'm not saying that I wasn't searching for the other fragrances. They have been on my wish list for a very long time, and that's what this video is all about, is about that journey. That's the fun part, and I hope you really do enjoy this video. This is not for the casual frag head. You're gonna click on this video and you're gonna be like, what is this guy talking about? To the ones that know what I'm talking about, you're gonna enjoy this video because I would enjoy this video. Now, some of these I haven't unboxed yet. This video is not about describing the scents. Some of these I haven't worn yet because of the YouTube channel. This is more about the journey. What happened? How did I get them? Things like that. That's gonna come in 2023 when I unbox some of these. So this is almost like a prep of 2023 because I got a lot of stuff to unbox. You're gonna see a lot of them here that have been half bottles, things like that I got, used bottles and things like that. So let's get started. Let's take a look at this list. So I did my best with this list to put them in order. So number one is, you know, I was kind of trying to put them in order of how hard it is to find them, how long I've been working to try to get these in my collection, things like that. You know, number one was probably the hardest fragrance for me. I actually gave up on this release. I was like, I'm never gonna get this. I'm not gonna spend the money to get this. So it goes from like how hard it was to search these ones out. So let's start at number 15, and this one is still in the cellophane. So you're going to see this in 2023 as an unboxing and all that good stuff. And this is, of course, from Ralph Lauren. This is Purple Label. This one right here, it comes up once in a while in fragrance groups and stuff that people are selling it, but it is kind of hard to find. Funny enough, I actually found this on FragranceX.com. My coupon code actually still works on FragranceX. I tried it out the other day. Coupon code ROBES08 on FragranceX will get you 15% off on your purchase. Just throwing that out there. So the story goes, I sign up for Fragrance X email. So when you go on the site, you can, if things are out of stock, you can send an email reminder. So once they come in stock, they send you an email saying, hey, this fragrance is in stock. So funny enough, when I first started with Fragrance X and buying from them, I just put emails for just discontinued, like they're still on their site, like stuff that I'm just like, they're never going to get on their site. And funny enough, I'm assuming I'm never going to get an email from Fragrance X. And funny enough, I do get a rare email from them once every like 2-3 years. It's like one in stock, already bought. Somebody already bought it. But this one randomly came in stock. I clicked on the website to see if somebody snatched it. It said one in stock. I'm like, what? Okay, might as well. And the price was it was under retail. I think I bought this for $115 Canadian. With my coupon code, it was actually even cheaper than that. So I was not expecting this thing to be shipped to me, but it did. This thing has a cult following, by the way. If you didn't know what a cult following is, I'll explain it. It means it just has diehard fans online. You go on base notes and stuff like that, people are going to talk about this fragrance being the best thing released ever. So when people say that it's the best of the brand, you should definitely check it out. It's hard to find. You start going, okay, I want to sniff this. This is a blind buy, by the way. I've never smelt Purple Label. It's compared to Bond No. 9's Bleecker Street, which is over there. My bottle's over there. I was never really a fan of Bleecker Street. Bleecker Street had a huge hype on YouTube 10 years ago. Now, I know I'm aging myself, but it did. And I never really liked Bleecker Street. I never got the hype. I thought it was okay. So this one right here, I feel like, I don't know, at worst, it's a collection piece that I have now, if I don't like it. At best, I'm going to enjoy it and actually wear it. It's been really hard to find online. It's not sold in stores with the rest of the Ralph Lauren line, so I'm happy to have this one in my collection, and I can't wait to unbox it with all of you and give you my first impression in 2023. Let's move on to number 14, and this was a Facebook purchase. This one is from By Kilian, and this is Royal Leather by Kilian. This one used to be a Mayfair exclusive, which means the only way I could get it would be a frag head in another country to get it to me. It's hard to find. Again, another blind buy here. This one was actually a Facebook purchase. A fragrance friend had a bottle. It's a used bottle. It's 95% full. My search for this one started on launch day. I remember when they first released this and they said exclusive, right? Royal Leather. And I'm like, oh, a leather-based scent. We all know I love my leather-based scents. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, I really want this. And obviously super scarce to find in North America. No one was ever selling it on Facebook groups or anything like that. It was not available to ship here. No one ever sold a bottle. It was just basically a waiting game for me. It was just on my wish list and I'm just waiting. Now this year was my lucky year. First of all, it's no longer just a Mayfair exclusive. It's available at Harrods. So it makes it easier to find now. I got it for much lower than retail, which was an easy buy for me. I really look forward to sharing my thoughts on this one once I get the camera warmed up on By Kilian. At number 13, it is from the brand of Tom Ford. Tom Ford and I, they discontinue stuff real fast. They release stuff really fast too. Their private blend line is, if they never discontinued scents, it's just a massive line. But they discontinue as fast as they release new stuff. So you can't catch up unless you're a diehard Tom Ford and you spend all your money on the private blend stuff. This one, of course, from the Signature line, not the private blend line. And it's not new to me. It's my backup bottle, actually. And we're going to get to backup bottles. But Sahara Noir by Tom Ford. Okay, now, I had a bottle of this. I bought it from a YouTuber, I remember, years ago. I only had like, this is a 50 mil bottle. I only had like 15 mils in it. It was very, small amount. This one right here is amazing because not that I was not actively looking for it, but I'm like, I kind of gave up on it. I'm not going to spend that much money on it. It's hard to find still. But this was a gift that I purchased from a fellow subscriber. He knew that my bottle was very low and that I really praise Sahara Noir. I think it's one of the best from Tom Ford. But I always hesitated wearing mine because it's so low. I'm sure any true frag head's like, I feel the same way about certain fragrances, right? So Sahara Noir, if this was my very first bottle of it, it would be much higher on this list. This is a gem from Tom Ford, by the way. I need to review this, but I always say this release should be re-released as a private blend, and it would be worth the money. 100%, I would pay retail. It's one of my favorites from Tom Ford. So thanks to this subscriber, this friend of mine, he made sure that he was like, okay, I'll give you this bottle, and it feels very full. Made sure that now I can wear Sahara Noir as much as I want, and spray it liberally too if I wanted to. So thank you to that subscriber. You know who you are. Merci beaucoup for the bottle of Sahara Noir. Beautiful, beautiful fragrance. Moving on to number 12. Again, another backup bottle. And again, we got to talk about backup bottles because it's been at least a good 10 years, maybe 12 years that I've never bought a backup bottle for anything. But a lot of the fragrances that I bought when I first started on YouTube are now getting very scarce. Some of my favorites, and this is one of them. Enchanted Forest by Vagabond Prince. The nose behind this is De Chafour, and I think is one of his best creations. This is my favorite blackcurrant fragrance of all time. Maybe, and I'm trying to think of other fruity fragrances, but I think this is my favorite fruity scent of all time. This, again, like Sahara Noir, is a backup bottle. My original bottle was, these are heavy bottles, by the way, but it was down to its last drops, and I was really conserving it. And that's the last thing you want to do, is conserve one of your favorite fragrances of all time. I was on eBay, I was on websites, even their official site. I was looking for it. It was always saying back ordered, and I'm just like, come on, release it. I'll buy one. Never. I couldn't find anything. Now there was a place that was actually a guy on eBay in Europe that was making money off selling his bottle. It was a sealed bottle, and it was the only place I could find that he would actually ship it to me in Canada. So it is available overseas in Europe. So if you're European, I know a few sites, so you can hit me up if you're really interested. I know a few places in Europe that still have some bottles on their site, and I'm sure it's just from old batches that they don't want to ship to North America, or they were asking ludicrous prices for shipping to North America. But anyway, no site on this side of the pond, like in North America, had it. It's hardly ever sold privately just because it never got real hype. Sites still have it on their websites, but saying, stock is coming later. Even the official site says it's back ordered, and it's been like 2 years. I've been checking it like almost monthly, and it's saying, nope. I hope it does return in stock because it's a great scent, but I'm not holding hope right now. It doesn't look good. Again, if this wasn't a backup bottle on scent strength alone, this would be much higher on the list because I know how good of a scent this is. But it does deserve a spot on this list, as when I was searching high and low for this one, it was super hard to find. And now I should be good. This is a full bottle, so I should be good for another 10 years or so of Enchanted Forest. A beautiful bottle, beautiful fragrance by an excellent nose. Now next at number 11 and number 10, we have a couple designers in this list. This one right here at number 11 is from the brand of YSL, and this is Cuir from their upper echelon line. Now, some of these older YSL fragrances are really hard to find. I'm happy with the hype of Tuxedo from this brand a few years back, that this line is getting some love, but I was definitely late to the party to collect the older scents before Tuxedo. that I wanted from this line, including this one. You slap a sticker saying Cuir on it, I'm sold. And this is what happened here. The notes in this particular fragrance look interesting. This was a blind buy for me, but upon first sniff from the atomizer, yeah, this seems like a real winner to me. Again, I can't wait to introduce this one to my channel next year. This was a Facebook buy again from me. Again, Facebook's a great tool, but again, you got to be careful. But it was a seller in Canada selling a half bottle. So this is a half bottle of fragrance, good enough for me. But it took me years to actually find a bottle of Cuir at a price that I would purchase it. Again, I'm not going to purchase something like this for $300, $400. I think this one was around $120 Canadian, which is an amazing price for this scent. Now on to the search of Vinyl, which is from this line that was released with this one, which is discontinued, and it's giving me just as much trouble than Cuir to find. So if you got a bottle of Vinyl, hit me up. Next is from Gucci. This one right here called Gucci Rush for Men. A nice white bottle. This one right here, what can I say? With unicorns, especially designer ones, I always have a price point that I won't budge on. I love having, you know, I really set myself an internal budget on these kind of scents because once discontinued, and especially ones that have a cult following, sellers think they have a gold mine on their hands and they can charge $300, $500, $1,000 for a fragrance that was selling for $100 like 5 years ago, 10 years ago. It's fine, but it sucks, right? As a frag head, you know, you want to find something and they're taking advantage. Some designer scents, as a collector, you just have to let go. You just have to go, okay, you know what? You know, everybody's asking $500 for a fragrance. Never mind. I can get a way better fragrance for that price point. So this one, Rush, was one of those scents for me. I felt like people were asking way too much. It is available. It's available on sites. You see it on eBay. You see it on Facebook, but people were asking north of $300 for this one at best. There was a few times over my years that I found it. You know, I've been looking for this one for a long, long time. I found this one a few times on a few sites around $250, but I just couldn't pull the trigger because first of all, it was going to be a blind buy and it's more of a collection piece than anything. So my internal budget for this scent, keep in mind, it's a blind buy and it's a highly regarded Gucci. So I was, you know, my internal budget and myself were kind of kicking each other like, okay, this thing has a cult following. These older Gucci scents are excellent. Like the older ones that I have Gucci put on 1, 2, Gucci Envy are all great. So this one should be up that alley. You know, people are saying great things about it. So I had a really good track record with older Gucci scents because I love all the older ones. So this one I was a little more persistent, but man, every year, high and low, looking for it for a certain price, couldn't find it. This year, someone in Canada posted on Facebook group again, but said, no, I'm going to post it on eBay because they want a bidding war because it was on bid. And I was like, oh, here we go. This bottle was scuffed as hell. You may not see it on camera here, but it looked bad. It was 50% full, still is, and it was under a bidding war. So here I am bidding for Gucci Rush for Men, and I know you post in a fragrance group, it's over. You know, you're gonna get a bidding war, and it was really slow. And I'm like, okay, people are just gonna wait till the end and, you know, snipe, right? That's, you know, this is a gem. It was like around 60, 70 on the last day, and I'm just like, there's no way this is gonna jump up to 200 in no time. Never did. I got it for a little north of $100, unheard of. I was a little skeptical because then I was looking at the pictures and I'm like, oh, this thing is banged up. Is the atomizer even gonna work on this thing? Also, I started doing research and I started panicking because a lot of people purchased this release and said that the juice turns on this fragrance really fast. You know, they purchased a bottle used and it turned on them. It wasn't very good as the scent. Once I received it, it was great. Bottle looked like shit. I cleaned it up and voila, I'm good to go. Rush was on my wish list at least since 2009. So it's been a long journey. And again, within that journey, just picture me. And again, I got a huge wish list, but I go on older websites and trying to scour the internet for a bottle of this and other things. And again, it's not like I can't afford to pay $350 for this, but I have an internal budget of how much something is worth for me. And designer releases such as this, especially a blind buy, I'm not going to spend that kind of money. So I was glad that I met my internal budget. I'm glad that I was patient, and it paid off. Yes, it took me over 10 years, but you know what? And for your information, it is a good scent. So I can't wait to talk about Gucci Rush in the new year. Another discontinued Gucci, unfortunately, the House of Gucci. What happened? Next, at number 9, from Profumum Roma, this is Fumidis. Now, Fumidis, a smoky scent. And again, I just want to do this. Oh, man. This fragrance has been on my Profumum Roma wish list since I discovered the brand. I'd say since 2010, this thing has been on my wish list. It was my number one. Like, this is my next buy from the brand. Number one from, again, it was a blind buy. I never sampled it, but a smoky fragrance from a niche brand, you can't go wrong. I own Arso from the brand, and I got a bottle of Arso only because a friend gave me his bottle, and I love that, but I wanted the smoky Fumidis. And no one owns this, no one talks about this, and I don't mean no one, some people do, but it's not for sale. Not that it's not for sale, but it's never discounted, we'll say. It's readily available. It is kind of harder to find it in Canada, but it's also very pricey. I never wanted to pay the full retail price on this one. I always wanted to kind of split the scent. When I was splitting scents, this would be one of those that I wanted, but never got to split this fragrance. I think it's because a lot of people aren't interested in this one. So 11 years later, FragranceBuy.ca, a discount website in Canada, started carrying this brand. Lo and behold, they had Fumidis, and I'm like, wow, finally. So sold, easy as that. Excellent brand, by the way, but very expensive. This one, I really look forward to sharing my thoughts on this one, since there's hardly anything on the tube on Fumidis. But it's not getting the hype as others from Roma are getting, the easier pleasing scents, I guess. But this one's a gem, and I can't wait to talk about it. At number 8, we have the house of, well, La Maison Francisque, and this is Ciel de Gomme. Now, this one is not in my top 5 for good reason. It's because of the time I've been looking for this one. The ones before this, I've been looking for years, more than 10 years. This one, not so much. So Ciel de Gomme, this one is within our little fragrance community, especially on Facebook groups, talk about the 2022 hype train within our fragrance community. This is it right here. Ciel de Gomme. This thing, I saw it sell for $500 plus multiple times. People searching out for this one. This year has been the year for Ciel de Gomme, for collectors. Again, the same friend of mine that helped me out with Sahara Noir helped me out with this one. Why? Well, I was on my full-on MFK discontinuation mode, purchasing up actually discontinued MFKs, which I haven't been successful. 2022, I was finding MFK discontinued scents left and right, and it was the brand of the year for me, by the way. I should do a video on that, but this one, why it's so low is because I never had it on my heavy radar until I started plucking up the ones that I've been wanting for 10 years, and they're off my list. And then I was like, well, I was doing research on the brand, and I'm like, I'm absolutely loving this brand. What's next? And this came up, Ciel de Gomme. Hard to find, syrupy, dark juice. You can't say no to this. And I was like, okay, me and my friend were like, okay, let's go scour the internet. We found one on eBay. Again, bidding war together on eBay. We agreed. It was getting to a price, and we both agreed. We're like, we're going to split this one together. You can get the bottle. He told me I could get the bottle, but we'll split the cost. And I'm like, perfect. We won the bid. Yay. And then amazingly enough, this guy is just like, oh, someone on Facebook was selling a bottle, so I bought that one too. And I'm like, what? And then he's like, you know what? Keep this bottle. That one's yours. And I'm like, you know, a friend like that, amazing. And that's what's amazing with this fragrance community, is that this friend, again, Sahara Noir, from his personal collection, he knew that I was running low on my Sahara Noir, sold me the bottle at a really great price. Same here. He's like, Ciel de Gum, it's yours. Keep the bottle. Now I have an almost full Ciel de Gum instead of one that was split. And amazing. And this stuff's going for around $500 online now. Crazy amounts. This is another scent that I can't wait to talk within my channel next year on Ciel de Gum. Next, another 2022 gem here is from Histoire de Parfum. I actually got 2 bottles from this brand, and this is Petroleum. I always wanted Petroleum. Anybody that's been on my channel, you know that I've talked about Petroleum multiple times. When I'm talking about Aberam, I'm talking about Petroleum. I'm like, I should have got Petroleum too. So in 2011, I went to New York City. You know, I met with a lot of frag heads, and I discovered Aberam from Histoire de Parfum. I recall going to shops. I saw these silver bottles like this, these metallic bottles from Histoire de Parfum, which I wanted to sniff. So I look at the names, Petroleum. That's where my gaze went right to Petroleum, the name. And I'm like, okay. So I sniffed that. I'm like, that's pretty good. I think I'm going to buy this one. So I started checking out the other ones, and the other one was Aberam. Aberam sold. It's an absolute beast. It's a 10 out of 10 for me. Since that day, I've always kicked myself because I really wanted to actually get both. Even though Aberam at that time was a superior scent, to me, to my nose, I can't wait to unbox this thing because I don't remember what it smells like, but I remember Aberam was a superior scent. But again, when you're sniffing a whole bunch of stuff, you never know that short little amount of time to make a decision. I don't know if I'm going to be kicking myself and see that maybe this was a superior scent. We'll see. But Aberam's a 10 out of 10. So this year, I found this one. And this one's hard to find. I found this one at another discounter called FragranceNet.com. Of all places, I never buy from them. But, you know, searching up the internet and just going, you know, in the rabbit hole of fragrances, just seeing what's out there. I see that they have a bottle of this, and I'm like, price is below retail. Yeah, boom, sold. And then I know FragranceNet is notorious from, you know, taking an order and then returning your money and going, we don't have that in stock or whatever. It took them 2 weeks to ship it for me to get a notification. So I was like waiting. I'm like, oh, they're not going to ship it to me. This is just a pipe dream. Notoriously known for that, but it's shipped. It's sealed now, so I can't wait to unbox this with all of you to remind me of what it smelled. Again, keep in mind, I don't remember it at all. All I remember is going to that shop. That's the only time I smelt this was off a strip, and I picked Aberam like within a 5-minute time span, and I knew that Aberam had more oomph. I remember saying to myself, Aberam has more petroleum than Petroleum. And I was like, that one's the more daring one. I want that one. But hence the reason I bought Aberam. So this one, hard to find, but with time and patience, I finally found a bottle of this, and randomly at a discounter. So I can't wait to delve into that one. Now, number 6 from HDP, again, Histoire de Parfum, it is Fidelis, the coffee-based fragrance. Sticking with the HDP theme here, this one, the coffee-based one. Wow, Fidelis was hard to find as well. There's only a few HDPs that I wanted, and they were so scarce. Like these two, super scarce to find. And I don't know if there's others out there looking for these gems like Petroleum and Fidelis, but for me, it's just so hard to find. Fidelis was praised by a few YouTubers years back, and when I saw it, I'm like, these are great reviews, first of all, like excellent reviews on scents that from reviewers that I highly respect. It's a coffee-based scent, which is huge. I love my coffee-based scents. And third, there's a great nose attachment, All-Star Parfumier. So sadly, you know, once I started scouring, I'm like, no one's carrying this scent. I couldn't find it online. I couldn't find anyone that would actually ship it to Canada. And the more the years rolled by, the harder it was to find. No one was selling a used bottle of this. I found it this year just out of pure frustration. Just going on Google. And again, one day, just one morning, I'm just like, you know, I want another coffee-based scent. And I started going on fragrance sites, American fragrance sites, just looking for see if there's a bottle. And I found this little American site called Crystal Fragrances that carried it. Boom, sold, shipped to my door, done. Can't wait. Again, this is a blind buy. I don't know what it smells like, but God, like those reviews, all the reviews are very positive on Fidelis. I can't wait to sniff this one. At number 5, top 5 Dead Alive. These 5, it's been years. A lot of them are going to be collection pieces for me. I'm going to wear the hell out of a lot of them, but in that motion, they're also collection pieces. At number 5, it is Lumière Noire by Maison Franciscaise. And again, I wasn't joking. MFK was the brand of the year for me in 2022. I'm on my MFK discontinuation trek. This one and APOM have been discontinued, and those two were at the top of my MFK list. They had huge hype trains back when I was, on YouTube. And I'm talking about like early 2010. These things got hyped. I sniffed them both in the prime of their hype trains. I think like I remember sniffing this, Lumière Noire and APOM, when I went to New York actually in 2011. And I think I bought Leather Oud from Dior. And again, I don't regret that. And I also bought Acier Aluminum by Creed that day instead of the 2 MFKs. These MFKs have been eluding me since then. It was like, oh yeah, you don't want to buy me now? Okay, that's it for you, Mark. You're never going to find these fragrances. Not that I didn't have a chance to buy them. I always bought something else instead of these. They were always close to being purchases, but then I wanted to buy something a little more interesting, something a little more pop to them. And then boom, they were discontinued. And then now the internet went silent on these. Nobody was selling them. You go online on eBay, nothing. I couldn't find a used bottle to save my life. And I have a lot of connections within the fragrance community. I couldn't find anything. And the fragrance gods in 2022 blessed me with this one. And this one, I blind bought it. I consider this a blind buy because I sniffed it in a store 10 years ago. I remember liking it. I remember saying, well, it's good quality. It's well done. It's well composed. But it wasn't flashy enough for me. And I kept buying flashier, darker scents throughout my journey until it was discontinued. Finally, I got this one at a really good price on Facebook. Again, a Facebook friend selling off his MFK collection. This one has it's almost practically full. And it was under $200 Canadian, so it was a bargain. So I can't wait to talk about this one. It's an excellent release from the House of Franciscaise. At number 4, did anybody say APOM? Yep. A piece of me put yep, another one. I must have bought 4 MFKs this year. I had Oud from the house for several years. It was my only Maison Franciscaise in my collection. Now my Franciscaise collection is now finally a collection. I think I'm up to 6 bottles now. I'm again highly hyped within the community 10 years ago. This one, like Lumière Noire, was just a pain to find a good price. And also a pain to actually find for somebody to actually ship it to me in Canada. I can't wait to share my thoughts on all these MFKs that I purchased in 2022. I feel like my wish list from MFK went to like 3-4 fragrances that were just stuck in the wish list every year. I was just like, they're still on my wish list. I can't find them. And now, for the past 10 years, they've been on the list and now they're purchased. Now I can finally actually delve into this brand with their current releases. So I can't wait. I'm actually thinking of getting like a sample kit of this brand just to see what they have released recently, because I haven't been really checking out this brand. Been kind of going backwards and buying the older stuff first. Now moving on to number 3. It is from the brand of Tom Ford, and this is Urban Musk. Now look at the color of this juice in this translucent bottle. This is Urban Musk. Urban Musk. It's been a while. Urban Musk. This one is so high, not because of the scent itself, but the anticipation of getting this in the mail. Any fraghead, any real fraghead knows what I'm talking about. This one, another eBay snag. This was an American selling this fragrance, knowing full well what they had. So they had a really inflated price on eBay, I'll be honest. I paid for this one. But not only that, they weren't shipping to Canada, but no one was biting on it. Nobody wanted it, at least in the US. So I had to work hard to get this person to even ship to Canada. It wasn't, it was the first time to ship to Canada. They were asking a bunch of questions and I'm just like, I gotta get this. They almost, stepped away and they just, it's not worth it. This one intrigued me. And you know why? Urban Musk, again, a blind buy. I spent buku dollars on this, a blind buy. But Urban Musk, why was it so intriguing? You know why? It was because of reviews. Reviews online were saying this fragrance is challenging. This fragrance is strange. This fragrance is animalic. This fragrance is pissy. This fragrance is unique, weird. Those are key words for me. I look out for reviews and I'm like, I want that. I'm probably what everybody else does. Everybody else kind of goes away from those reviews. They go, oh, yeah, sounds challenging, bad. No, I'm not going to buy this fragrance. Me, when I see those words, those are key words for me. I go, oh, I want to buy that. The clear bottle and that juice color just mesmerizes me. It's absolutely gorgeous. This one was so hard to find once discontinued. This Musk line, once it was discontinued, it was like the others from the Musk line, everywhere. Available. eBay, you find it. Obviously, they're not readily available, but they're more available than this one. I know because I've been searching for this one and it always came back with the other Musks. And I was like, no, that's not the ones I want. I want that one. So this one right here, I paid the price to get it. Sometimes you got to do that. And, but it's the fun part of the journey. It makes this one much more valuable to me because of the journey. And honestly, if you want my personal opinion right now, Urban Musk ain't that daring. The people that are smelling it and saying this is super challenging, come on, try harder. So now number 2, it is from Christian Dior, and this one is Eau Noire. Look at that green juice, beautiful. I purchased this one in early 2022 before its re-release. I knew that it was getting re-released, but I had to get the green juice before they re-released it. I don't know. I don't know if there's any major changes, but this Francis K release from 2004, which was only available at certain boutiques, was being sold online for a huge premium. But I got this one again on Facebook for a great price. I recall first smelling it back in 2009, 2010, when I first started being on YouTube and thinking how spicy this fragrance was. I was like, it's not that great. Now this stuff is syrupy. The spice is beautiful, but the syrupy, the caramel, I can't wait to actually review this Eau Noire, but it's magical. I'm so happy that I snagged a bottle of this. The hunt for this one was tedious. And for the price I wanted it for, it was actually making it impossible to find. But now I appreciate it even more now that I have it in my collection. A great snag for me in 2022. My best snag of 2022 as far as unicorns go, again, I've purchased a lot. You've just seen the tip of the iceberg here. This is the rarest of the rare, but this one right here from the house of Tom Ford, and this is Moss Bresche. Yep, I got it, Moss Bresche. Now, why is this number 1? First of all, the way I got it. Second of all, because this is the unicorn of all unicorns. You want a bottle of this? Be prepared. You're going to be spending, at minimum, several $100s, $1,000 even. I've seen bottles of this being sold for close to $2,000. I gave up on this one. This is one of those rare times that I'm like, okay, I love private blends and I do want most of the collection. This and Purple Patchouli, I've kind of gave up on both of them. I'm like, prices are so ridiculous. I'm never going to get a bottle of this. Then what happened, and again, this is my friend that helped me out with Sahara Noir, that helped me out with Ciel de Gamme. Through conversations, he had a backup bottle of this stuff. What did he do? He offered this to me at a ridiculous price. And I don't mean ridiculous like offering it to me for $5,000. No, a ridiculous price. What an outstanding person. Said, you want Moss Bresche? And I'm like, well, yeah. Without him, I would have never had this bottle. I never would have bought it. It would have just been a dream. It's number 1 because of that. It's going to remind me of, the great people within this fragrance community that you form bonds. This gentleman watched me throughout my journey on my YouTube channel. We got to know each other, and eventually we started having these great conversations this year. And I really enjoyed going back and forth with him about new fragrances and things like that. And that's the whole part of this journey. So does this mean that Mons Breiche is the best smelling scent on this list? Hardly. It hardly is. But it would have been the one that would have been the hardest one to get. And the hardest one now to give up, because how rare it is and how I got it. Now it's a special collection piece for me. So Mons Breiche, I'm super excited about getting this in my collection, especially Tom Ford, which is probably one of the brands that I have the most fragrances of. It kind of completes part of that Tom Ford. Purple Patchouli's next. I don't know, I might find it. We'll see. But yeah, 2022, as far as unicorns go, my luck, I must have had a horseshoe this year, because just on these, I've had a great year. It doesn't even matter on what I purchased otherwise, and I've purchased a lot. These are the holy grail here. These are fragrances. Again, not all of these are 10 out of 10s, but they are special to me for different reasons. And I can't wait to unbox the ones that are still sealed with all of you. So at the end of the day, 2022, the fragrance gods were with me, as I've discovered, gotten my nose on so many unicorn fragrances that I've wanted for years. Some of them even a decade or two. It's nice to see them home now with the rest of my collection. And I hope you enjoyed my thoughts on these today on this video, and it kind of shows you a preview of what 2023 will come, because I'm going to unbox some of these. I'm going to give you some test drives on some of these, things like that. So I can't wait to delve into all of them. Merci beaucoup. Thank you so much for tuning in. Also, if you get a chance, comment below and let me know which fragrances that you purchased this year that you really enjoyed. It doesn't have to be unicorn, but fragrances that maybe you've been waiting on or saved up your pennies to purchase, something that you value in your collection. I'd love to see those in the comments below. Thanks for watching, YouTube.